Victoria may be facing stage 4 lockdown.
Anxiety is at an all-time high.
The mental health world has hit its peak with anxiety, depression, and stress eating and binge drinking.
The second time is always going to be the hardest.
Let's get started on how you can cope.
Life is not perfect, and neither are we. Welcome to Raw and Unhinged. Lara and Steph will be bringing you real and insightful chats on health, psychology, fitness, and nutrition. Lara is a qualified nutritionist and fitness enthusiast who loves her pizza, and Steph, a registered psychologist, author, and renowned brunch queen. We hope you're ready for today's chat.
Welcome to this week's episode, everyone. We're so happy to be here. As you know, Lara's a nutritionist in Sydney. I'm here in Melbourne, and in Melbourne, Victoria, we are facing an all-time high with the COVID-19, and I am literally booked back to back trying to help as many people as possible because this lockdown is hitting twice as hard. How are you going in Sydney, Lara?
You know, watching things which are happening in Melbourne, it definitely hits home. You know, most of my friends and family are there, and you know, it hurts me as well. You know, I was supposed to be in Melbourne a few weeks ago, and just knowing that I don't know when I'm going to go down, see my friends, see my family, seeing what you guys are all going through again, you know, speaking to you guys, it's hard, you know, and looking from the outside, like we still have our freedom here in Sydney, fingers crossed. But, you know, looking at what you guys are going through again, you're in isolation. I know how it feels, and it sucks. And, you know, there's people going through a lot of things. You know, we talked about being anxious, eating disorders, everything like that, and they're still coming up, and people, you know, they're learning to deal with it, but also struggling at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's worse this time around, or it's people are taking it harder because A, they had a little taste of freedom. B, there's an indefinite timeline. We thought it was 6 weeks, and we were, I guess, stressing about that, but it could be even longer. And thirdly is, I guess the impacts are snowballing, you know, not having a job, not paying rent, you know, all those sort of impacts. And I guess something I'm sort of struggling with is showing happiness and being happy because there's so much on the social media that's negative. Like I just see influencers like slamming people for not wearing masks, or saying coronavirus is a conspiracy, or saying that the numbers are inflated. Whether or not that's true, it's not particularly helpful to be slamming each other and criticizing each other. And I'm like over here being like, I published a book and I'm really proud, but I feel like not guilty, but feel sort of a conflict between being happy and being like, oh my God, I achieved this. And the world is so fucked up right now. And I guess that's what I've been struggling with, because I am focusing on what I can control and being positive. And that's what I'm helping my, the people I work with and I coach. So I think that's been a bit of a struggle too, is can we be happy?
Yeah. You know what? I actually heard on the radio the other day, Selena Gomez was talking about, because she wasn't posting that much on social media, and her reasons was, you know, there's so much going around. She's like, it's hard to kind of, you know, put out these good posts, be happy, do this.
I just think at the beginning of this year, with everything going on, it felt a little insensitive to post things that may be a little just like joyful or celebrate. It was really hard for me.
Because you're also going to get the backlash of it and say, hang on, like, why are you being so happy when all these things are going on in the world? Or you could start posting and, you know, telling other people to wear masks, everything like that. You're still going to get backlash either way. So I think, you know, the one thing that you need to do is definitely be yourself, and you yourself are very positive. And I think people do look towards that, and people are motivated. You know, I know, especially in isolation, when we were first in isolation the first time, you know, I was still going for walks, we were still being happy, we're looking on the positive side, because that's just us. You know, we are very positive people. We're always thinking of ways to better ourselves. We were thinking of the outlook, you know, we're always thinking one step ahead, and people do find that really motivating as well. So I definitely don't think you should feel guilty for being yourself and being a positive light, because in hindsight, it does help a lot of people. It's better than being sad and miserable, because then a lot of people will relate to that, especially your followers, and think, hang on, I'm going to be sad and, you know, miserable. It's better to be happy, give people an outlook, give people something to look forward to, seeing a smiling face, because there's not many around these days, I'll tell you that.
And one thing I'm working on with a lot of people is the idea of acceptance, because when we accept, we dissolve our anxiety. So that's one strategy I wanted to talk about today. I've accepted we're in ISO until indefinitely. I've accepted that, yes, it's a shitty situation. I've accepted we have to wear a mask. And when you accept, you free yourself. You free yourself
100%.
from stress.
Yeah.
You free yourself from anxiety, because now it's the resistance. And that's what's making people feel uncomfortable and on edge. But if we accept this is what it is, like this is the world we live in right now. It is what it is. So I'm going to be me and I'm going to do me. And yes, it's horrible and it's challenging. But I think the key word that I got from what you were saying is we are being effective. Like, yes, you can't be happy all the time, or, you know, you're not going to feel positive all the time, but you can choose to be effective.
Yeah. And also being in denial doesn't help either, because it's only going to like not meet your expectations. So, you know, if you are in denial that you're not in isolation, you're still going out doing these things, getting told off all these things on the news, it's only going to conflict your mind. We always talk about, you know, healthiness also comes from the inside, staying well comes from the inside. So definitely accepting what is happening, you know, accepting and being effective is what's really going to help you, especially getting up in the morning, you know, practicing signs of gratefulness, practicing mindfulness as well. It's only going to help you. So I think accepting is definitely the first step in overcoming what's happening at the moment.
Yeah, that's the A. Now I'm going to go to the B. So I've done a lot of presentations this week to teachers all over Victoria, because teachers are very anxious about school, remote learning, department, all that sort of stuff. And the B I talk about is the beliefs you choose to run with. So every day we get 1 million thoughts going through our mind, actually 70,000 thoughts, but your beliefs are what are going to, I guess, dictate how those thoughts sound. So if you've got a belief that, you know, the world is an unfair place, then your thought's going to be like, I can't go out, I'm unsafe, this decision is wrong by the government, this decision is wrong. So notice your beliefs and aim to choose which beliefs you engage in and which ones you sort of let go by using mindfulness. So bringing yourself to the present moment, because if you've got 1 foot in the present, 1 foot in the future, you're going to feel anxious.
Yeah.
Got 1 foot in the present, 1 foot in the past, you're going to feel depressed. So noticing your beliefs and bringing yourself back to the present moment helps to overcome uncomfortable feelings and anxiety too.
Yeah, for sure. And Steph, I want to ask you as well, like, what feelings are you experiencing? Are you sad this time? I know you're saying you've accepted it. You're trying to be happy. Like, how are you feeling? What kind of trait and trends are you seeing amongst these people being in a second lockdown? I'm really interested.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's like, there's definitely,
it's so hard, isn't it? Yeah.
Definitely anxiety is number one, and people being stuck at home with family members, they're finding it particularly triggering, especially people who had, I guess, really challenging mental health. They finally were getting their lives together. They got a job. They were interacting with their community. All that's been taken away. So their sort of mental health is taking a back step because they're anxious being at home. They can't maintain a routine, which is really important for mental health. People with OCD, that's increased because of germophobia. I'm seeing an increase with body image issues and weight. A lot of people have found that their weight fluctuated during this time, and they're trying to control that, and then trying to control that is leading to binge eating. And everything, I think, in summary, everything has been amplified.
Yeah, even in my clients, I've seen such an influx in people from Melbourne, especially coming to me for nutrition advice, also meal plans, and just, you know, just to have that person to keep them accountable. Because one thing for me and what I see in a lot of people is binge eating, stress eating. Stress eating comes especially when you're in lockdown. And I know that when you're locked in the house, there's food all around, you're only going to be stressed. You're going to take it out on food. It's not like you can go to the gym anymore and take your stresses out on that. So that is a really big thing I am seeing at the moment. Also, another big thing on the other side is I also see people wanting to improve their health, you know, getting nutrition consults, because I think health is so important at the moment, and people are starting to realize that, you know, if you're healthy, you might not be less prone to getting COVID. You know, if you're actually healthy, you're not going to be affected as much. So people are putting a lot more effort into eating well, but at the same time, you do have the other spectrum of people struggling with a second lockdown. Once they've had that taste of freedom, they've gotten shut back down, and, you know, they just struggle town, which is really upsetting to see.
Yes, absolutely. And that brings us to the final strategy, the C, which you said is, I guess, being conscious of your health and choosing what you focus on. And this is something I really preach, is choosing. And you have a choice. You can choose which thoughts you focus on. you can choose which decisions you make, and you can change the thought. So Lara, you hit the nail on the head when you said, you know, people are having certain foods in their house and people think it's the food making me binge.
Yeah.
Yes, it does contribute, but it's not. It's the thoughts around the food that need to change. The thoughts like, well, I had one too time, I might as well have 10. So A, B, C, we've gone accepting and acknowledging it is what it is. We are where we are. B is your beliefs, being mindful of your beliefs. And C is choosing what you focus on. So choosing, you know, to move your body, choosing to focus on your nutrition or your health, like you said, rather than choosing to focus on how stressed out you feel.
Yeah, for me, when I was in lockdown, things that really helped me was, of course, going for our walks. I still trained at home. I still got in, you know, my daily workouts. I also tried to eat well. Yes, I did eat a lot more crap when I was in isolation, but no, I learned from my mistakes, and I learned that eating bad food wasn't going to make me feel any better. So that's why I started to change it around during the last few weeks as well. So definitely spending time with family and friends will really help you. And one thing that you told me was definitely practicing mindful eating as well, and just writing down my feelings. I found that writing down my feelings into posts really let me express how I felt and let me, you know, be human and just put my life on the line and show that everyone is human. Everyone is going to go through these things. And it's only, you know, understandable to feel these feelings that you're going through. So I think they're really good strategies to kind of help overcome what's happening at the moment. But like you said, you just need to accept it, try and look positively, and just, you know, really try and be a positive outlook and influence to people.
Absolutely. And on a final note, guys, remember, it's not about motivation, it's about momentum. So as Lara said, move yourself in the direction you want to go, whether that's going for a walk.
Good morning, Instagram fam, and happy Sunday. I'm just venturing out for my morning coffee stroll. Don't worry, I've got my mask ready to go. I'm just still in my driveway. I just wanted to say it's really important to get out and move your body.
Or going, you know, and speaking to someone, a friend, calling a family member, move in the direction that's going to be the healthiest decision for you. We hope you've enjoyed this. Hit us up if you need any support with your mental health or your nutrition.
Yeah, good luck, guys. You've got this. We're all humans. We all go through these emotions. So make sure you stay well as well.
See ya.
See you guys.